If you hear your name called in the woods, no you didn't. If you feel something following you, don't run. Never whistle in the woods. Never go in after dark. And whatever you do, do not look at the trees.
Hey Pipsqueaks! Today we found more scary Reddit stories. Also, my camera just tried to focus. We're not doing that. We're not doing that
right now. Chill, ghost.
So let's just get into it, okay? Most of these are Appalachian Mountain themed.
Weird things happening in West Virginia, yo.
So the first one I'm gonna read is not Appalachian. I just thought it was creepy, so I saved it.
We love a good creepy story, regardless of location.
We'll just say it was.
Yeah.
It says this happened when this person was 17. When I was still living in my childhood home, I was sneaking out late at night to meet some friends. I went through the back door of my house, and as I turned to face the door, I could just feel somebody watching me. I thought I was busted, so I turned around to look who had caught me, and I saw a totally monochrome figure. The hair was completely black, like blacker than black. Her face was like a static washed over white gray, and she was wearing a dress that was in between two colors. No facial features, just the silhouette of a young girl facing me. I reached for the door as fast as I could, and when I went to shut it, it closed very quickly on me. I bolted through my yard and onto the street, and couldn't shake the feeling that I was being followed, so I stayed the night at my friend's that night. I was up late with my mom watching a movie. My dad had just passed away. When we finished our movie up and said goodnight, after turning off the TV, the stereo, the DVD player, all with their own remote, a short amount of time in bed, I'm jarred awake by the sound of static with the speakers cranked up. TV was on with no input. My mom and I met in the hallway, surprised to see that we had both been awoken to an empty house. A few years later, when I was 23-ish, graduated from college, I finally told my family about the first occurrence. Before I was able to finish my description of the ghost, my mom finished for me, telling me that her and her friend used to see a little girl in our backyard playing in a sundress. She said that she looked maybe 12.
Yeesh.
Our neighbor, who was the original owner, shared a story with us about the family that originally bought the house after it was built. It was a young family whose daughter passed away from leukemia. She would have been about that right age. Looking back, the girl wasn't scary or harmful. My sister had the same impression. To this day, I believe what we saw and hadn't seen anything like it ever since. Also, I want to say that my dog used to scare the crap out of me because he would randomly stare down the hallway to my sister's room and would growl with his hair standing up.
Yeesh.
It would always freak me out, and I never connected the two until some time after seeing the ghost or whatever it might have been.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds creepy.
Yeah. I've had experiences like that where like it looks like there's some female figure just like standing in a closet or just standing in a doorway.
It's the worst when like you wake up in the middle of the night and it's like your clothes or something making the shape.
Mm-hmm.
That's always the scariest to me.
Yeah. So there's times I'll like see something in the dark, like a weird shape. I'll look at it, I'll be like, the heck is that? And then I'll just stare at it and I'm like, what are you? And I'll try to figure out what in real life it is.
Yeah.
And then I figure it out and I'm like, oh, okay.
And then I keep looking at it just to make sure. I'm like, are you gonna change?
Yeah, it's like, are you hiding in the form of my clothes? The thing that cracks me up about that story is that every single thing had its own remote.
Yeah,
really dates the story.
Yeah, it's crazy that the whole family stories line up. That's how you know it's like.
So, the house they're currently living in used to be owned by their neighbor? Their neighbor is...
Yeah.
So, the neighbor lived in that house and moved out to the house next door? Or did they own both properties?
I'm wondering if it's like they owned it and rented it out to these people or something.
Maybe, because that'd be funny when it's like, I love this neighborhood, I love this location, I don't want to leave, but I can't live in this house, it's haunted. Yeah. I'm moving next door.
Right next door.
It's like, okay.
I guess that was far enough away.
Yeah.
Because they were seeing stuff in the backyard too, so it's not like they were that far away from it, really.
Weird. Mine, I have a short one that it's not paranormal. I'll say that much, but it is kind of funny. It was in 2007, posted by Appalachian Baby. In 2007, I was DD, stone cold sober, for my boyfriend and friends. He and I went back to his parents' house in southern West Virginia. His parents were out of town, and he was piss drunk, so I got him put to bed, went out back to have a smoke. Typical house up in the holler, sitting at the bottom of the mountain with about a half acre fenced in, running up the hillside, which I can totally relate to because my grandparents lived in West Virginia, and they had a house that was kind of like that. Had this long going upwards backyard that was just acres of wooded tree area. I didn't turn a light on, and it was typical Appalachian dark. Sat down on the porch swing, lit up, and all of a sudden I hear what sounds like a woman being absolutely bloody murdered about 100 feet away from me. I threw my cigarette and got in the house quick. Turned on the porch light and the floodlight and saw what could only be described as a huge black panther running back and forth inside of the fence, absolutely screaming and screeching its head off because I guess it thought it was trapped in the fence once it jumped in. I watched it until it figured out how to jump back over the fence, and then it ran up out the mountain. I think only one person has ever truly believed me, which is like, was the panther the one that was making the bloody murdered sounds, or did somebody just get mauled by a panther?
And they were just like, oh,
yeah,
silly panther.
I thought that one was interesting. I was like, dang. And it has a followed up comment. When my mother was just a girl in the 1940s, she was spending the night with her aunt and uncles in southern West Virginia. The house was in a holler, and her grandmother's house was at the head of the holler, a big field separating the two, with a big sycamore tree right in the middle of the field. Her aunt sent her to her grandmother's house to either get a cup of sugar or flour, because that's what they did in those times. She said she didn't hurry back and just played until almost dark. She started back down the path to the other house, which went by the sycamore tree. She said she got right to under the tree when something in the tree let out a yell that sounded like a woman screaming. She threw the cup away, ran towards the house, and met her uncle coming out with his rifle to shoot what was most likely a mountain lion. He didn't find the mountain lion, and they never found the cup she threw away. So much for going to collect that cup of sugar or flour.
I mean, fair.
Those cracked me up because it's one of those things where it's like, if you're out in a field and you hear sounds that you just can't figure out what they are, where they're coming from, usually it's either a fox or a coyote.
I was gonna guess the sound of a screaming woman is usually a fox. I didn't know that a panther would do that too.
Yeah, panthers and mountain lions, apparently. They sound like screaming ladies.
But I also would figure that it was an animal, and then I would not be out there either. I'd be like, peace out.
Then I got one more a year ago, but I think this is an older story. This post might be dead, but maybe someone has shared a similar experience and is also hoping to find some sort of explanation. About 15 years ago, me and a few friends were playing some game. I think it was manhunt or ball tag, and the sun had just dipped over the horizon. It was that weird time where in an open area with nothing blocking the sky, you could see reasonably decent, but the woods were dark, so playing a game where hiding is the main objective, me and one of my friends climbed on a hill and dipped just into the shadows of the trees. Got it. Okay, I understand now. We laid there in some sort of a divot in the ground, heads peeking over the lip, watching our friends search the area for us. We could easily see them, all then out of nowhere. Oh my gosh, the grammar in this. Words are hard. You're gonna have to edit this so hard. Oh my gosh. Why is talking so difficult?
I can hear there's like no punctuation.
It is. It's difficult. Heads peeking up over the lip, watching our other friends search the area for us. We could easily see them. And then, out of nowhere, in the woods behind us, we hear this music. My buddy describes it as a marching band that doesn't really fit. It was like a steady drum beat, like you would hear at a Native American ceremony or celebration, and something that may have been singing or chanting. I think the instrument is called a rain stick, with the subtle sound of a large group walking. Okay, so some kind of ceremony, maybe? And this is the part that confuses me the most. If it was just what I previously mentioned, I could have explained it away with the history of the land and the tribes that once lived here. But there was one more instrument mixed in with the music that, if I heard in any other setting, would have been a beautiful melody. But given the setting and the harsh and unmistakable sound of a bagpipe, it got louder and louder, and then as suddenly as it started, it vanished. Terrified me, and my friend jumped up from yeah, there's no periods in this at all. Like, there's no comma, there's no periods. It got louder and louder, and then as suddenly as it started, it vanished. Terrified, me and my friend jumped up from our spot and bolted towards the safety of the yard that still had slight visibility. Our other friends, who were standing and staring in our direction, the direction of the music, ran towards the house before we hit the ground as we jumped the steepest 9 to 10 feet at the bottom of the hill. We spent the rest of the night talking in hushed whispers of our experience. I apologize for such a long post, but last night this memory came out of nowhere and kept me awake all night. If anybody has any ideas of what it might have been, let me know. Apologize for your grammar too, sir. And lack of punctuation. My thought anytime I hear music with bagpipes is, was somebody blasting Korn? Like the band Korn, they use a lot of bagpipes. But yeah, that is weird. But I guess if you're just in a place that's got nothing but a wooded area and nobody around, yeah, music coming out of nowhere is a little spooky.
Yeah.
Unless somebody's camping and they brought a speaker with them.
Well, I also feel like people just hang out and bring instruments to a camp.
Yeah, or if people just go out into the woods to, do other stuff too, and they might just need some music. I don't know, that one was not as spooky as the rest of them. And Lord have mercy, I almost wish I didn't pick that one because, oof, the punctuation.
I could just hear by the way that you were already trying to read it that there had to be no punctuation.
I can, yeah, this person forgot that periods, end sentences, and commas are important. It's all fuzzy just flying down from the top.
Orb.
Totally not a fuzzy or dust. It was an orb.
An orb is flying behind her. Did anyone see it?
The last 2 places I've lived, nothing. Absolutely nothing. But everything before that, there's always been something. Maybe it's a Florida thing. Now that I'm not in Florida anymore. The ghosts were like, nah, we don't want to go to that cold weather state.
Yeah. I'm from Florida. I'm staying here.
I'm a Florida ghost. I need the beach, the sun, and the sand.
That's how we think ghost talk. Okay, found another story. I'm gonna try and shorten it up, but it too takes place in southern West Virginia.
Love southern West Virginia. My mom's from there, and I've been up there quite a few times.
Well, obviously I'm from Maryland, but my grandfather used to live in Virginia. It was flat where he lived. There was no mountains.
We lived like right on one of those, when you go to drive, it's like immediate drop off on part of our drive up to like the mountain or the hill or whatever we were driving on. There's a straight drop cliff.
That's scary.
And then, yeah, the other place we lived was like in a little old town with 8 houses, and that was it. And we lived right next to this big old river that you could fish in, but you could only bring one fish home within a certain amount of time because of all the pollution and stuff in that river. So yeah, you couldn't eat the fish from that river. My
grandfather, he was surrounded by like farmlands, but that was still just as scary because when we went to visit him, the amount of creatures that would come out.
Oh yeah.
Like you don't go outside after dark.
And there's like flat farmland, lots of coyotes.
One time my mom was just on the phone with him one night and he was sitting outside at night. They still don't know what it was. Some creature started to like growl right near him and my mom could hear it over the phone. And he went inside pretty quick. He had big guard dogs too and they ran.
Oh my gosh. I was like, hey, just letting you know, there's something here. Let's get.
You better go.
We gotta go now.
So this person said, well, basically at night, unless you live there or have experienced it, no one can realize how dark it actually is at night. They just said, human.
Generic human.
This human was hanging out with their friend one evening, and it got extremely late when they finally got bored and decided to go for a walk on a nearby trail.
In the dark?
Wouldn't be me.
Not without a flashlight and like a giant stick.
This is not a particularly long trail, but it's very dense in the woods that surround it. Okay. This person's English too, if you can tell I'm trying to decipher what they're saying.
I know.
So basically the woods were very dense and it made it darker quicker than it should have been. And it made them freak out when they're thinking of their surrounding. They finally got about halfway down the trail. 30 minutes.
30 minutes was halfway?
Why are you going that far in the woods at night?
That's not a short trail.
The forest is very alive at night. I'm sure.
Yeah.
There's always noises in the woods, but the amount of animal activity for the time at this point is probably past 1 a.m. Excuse me. Wouldn't be me.
No.
This was strange and kind of eerie. I'm sure it was.
You don't say.
but not alerting, as any sort of predatory animal in the area may cause a disturbance. They're not going to protect you.
You are the food.
We finished our walk and continued when almost immediately out of the forest, it falls dead quiet. As soon as the forest goes quiet, there was a voice. It almost sounds like a mocking humanoid voice, shaky and uncertain.
Ew.
Almost like an old children's toy. Like the ones with crackly speakers and a robotic voice.
So yes, like one of those.
Yeah. This immediately sets us off. We bolt directly down the opposite length of the trail. So you're going back in the trail? Back down the trail.
Back down.
But the sound does not gain distance. It doesn't get closer per se, but no matter how far we run down the trail, they are down the trail.
Okay, so they're just continuing down. All right.
But no matter how far we run down the trail, the eerie voice remains the same volume, going over and over with no quieting or stopping. At this point, I'm convinced we are in genuine danger. Something I felt a very few times. Finally, after sprinting for who knows how long, we exit the trail, grasping for breath and almost at the verge of tears of how frightening this was. We began to exit the trail. About 5 minutes from the exit, there's a bone-shaking, heart-stopping, murderous scream from directly behind us.
Oh.
I know what a mountain lion sounds like. This was not an animal. This was not someone playing or watching a movie. This scream sent birds flying from nests and made my heart drop into my stomach. It was the most genuinely deprived and violent scream that I have ever heard. This is a true story that I've only told to maybe 3 people. Everyone else brushed it off. I've never been a person to push for the existence of paranormal or spiritual, but I believe that I encountered something inhuman in the woods.
I think that you ran into either one of those panthers or mountain lions that had gotten a hold of one of those baby dolls, and it was just slowly stalking you. And every time it walked, it was pushing the speaker because it was in its mouth. This is what I see. I see 2 guys walking down a trail, mountain lion in the woods, baby doll in mouth with the squeeze body, and then as they're walking, it's like mama, squeeze, and it follows them as they're walking until they are about to go, and then the lion's ready to pounce, and that's when it shrieks and drops the doll, and then as they're going, it's trying to book it too, but they lose it. Just the imagery in my head. Just mountain lion just carrying this doll.
There's one comment, all it says is when to go.
Oh, yeah, that's right, they need to know when to go.
I'm sorry, you are crazy for 1 a.m. going out into the West Virginia mountains.
Yeah, also, that's not a short trail. 30 minutes
30
in
minute
and you're
walk?
only halfway? Not a smart decision on their part.
And they're also lucky that all that happened was that they heard something creepy.
Yeah, because what if it had been what I had imagined in my head and it was an actual animal? They would have gotten mauled to heck. Then they would have been what the screaming was in the first story that the person heard.
Yeah.
They're all connected.
It's all oh my gosh, glitch in the Matrix. It was all the same story.
From different perspectives. I feel like I should not find another one because that last one was just so well written, you know? It was like the cherry on top.
The last one.
Yeah, I like this one. It's very short. I was back up in the Tuskegee with some friends at the top of the old 1307. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Sorry, y'all. And found about 5 to 6 trees that had tiny twigs, about half the size of a pencil, neatly stacked. No old campfires nearby. No sign of people. Just neatly stacked twigs. I think about those twigs a lot.
I like the accent that you adopted to tell that story.
I think about those twigs a lot.
There's no where you just said late one night.
Late one night. I hate to break it to you, but I'm pretty sure it may have just been a tiny little rodent squirrel something that just wanted to stack some twigs. They do that, you know. No, I saw the last sentence of that story and I was like, I'm reading it. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that you think about twigs a lot too.
And if you have any Appalachian Mountain stories. I'm sorry, but I grew up hearing Appalachian. Appalachia is new to me, and I don't think I could start saying that.
The only time I've heard Appalachia is in Florida in Apalachicola. That's what it is, Apalachicola, right? You ever heard of Apalachicola? Am I crazy? Maybe. Yes. Appalachian Mountains, Apalachicola. Similar, but different.
I just have never heard anyone call the Appalachian...
Appalachian? I haven't either.
Appalachia?
Well, it's like in Hurricane, West Virginia. You don't say Hurricane, West Virginia. It's hurricane.
I've heard that it just depends if you're from the north or south.
Yeah.
But still, everyone...
It's like one of those Missouri
Yeah.
things.
It's just like the leprechaun video.
Yeah.
Are you gonna come for us for that too?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Tell us how to actually say it down below.
Yeah,
Have an argument down there, let us know.
Tell us if we just butchered it.
Yeah, what are you guys gonna cancel us for today? Let us know down below. Well, let us know if you have any scary Appalachian Mountain stories that you want us to read, or if you just want us to find more Reddit stories again to be part of this series that we started. And we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!